This presentation is on behalf of Rob Astbury, who specialises as a VFL reporter for the Nine network. This year, the exit of 3 coaches were among the biggest football stories of the year. When Geelong sacked its coach, John Devine, Channel 9 was first to break the news. 1 week before the end of the football season, David Parkin shocked the sporting world by dramatically announcing his retirement. After Parkin broke the news to his players, he declined all interviews until he had spoken first to Rob Astbury live on Channel 9's Wide World of Sports programme.
When Fitzroy surprised Footscray yesterday with a 14-point victory, none of the players knew they were in for a bigger shock when they arrived at this morning's training session. David Parkin addressed the players and explained why he had decided to step down after next week's match. He then left the Lakeside Oval and went straight to Channel 9 studios, where he discussed for the first time publicly his reasons for leaving Fitzroy.
I thought for the club's best future that they should now turn around and look to find someone else who should take these players forward.
After playing 211 games for Hawthorn, he then led the club to a premiership before crossing to Carlton for back-to-back flags. In his first year at Fitzroy, Parkin steered the Lions to the preliminary final. But now, after 3 seasons, he feels it's time for a change.
When you're looking at attitude and commitment from your team, and it's coming really, then I suppose I've got to accept the responsibility for that, and that's weighed very heavily on my shoulders, particularly over the last few weeks.
Parkin says he hasn't committed himself to another club and has no plans.
No, Rob, I've had no discussions with anybody, and my future at the moment is totally unknown.
Rob Astbury, National 9 News.
In Japan, VFL officials have been delighted with the response from the locals on the eve of the historic grand final replay at the Yokohama Stadium in Tokyo. The match between the Blues and the Hawks is being billed Australia Bowl and has attracted a sellout crowd. One player receiving plenty of attention from the Japanese is none other than Brownlow medalist Robert DiPierdomenico. Rob Astbury reports from Tokyo.
The thought of Robert DiPierdomenico playing football at Yokohama Stadium has the Japanese enormously excited. Local newspapers, who can boast millions of readers, liken him to the star of the movie Rocky. Dipper-san, as he's known here, is their hero. Starry-eyed Japanese television and marketing executives predict within 12 months, Dipper and Dermott Brereton, who's been described as the lady killer of the century, could earn up to $200,000 each from advertising endorsements.
Well, I think that sounds pretty good to me. I'm not earning it at home, contrary to some people's opinions, so I'd be quite affable with that sort of a payout figure for an endorsement.
Aussie Bowl has cost Japanese TV company Fuji $3 million to stage, and even though tickets are selling at $40 a seat, the game was sold out weeks ago. Although the Australians have combined a sightseeing tour with their training schedule, they are now fully aware of the Japanese high expectations for tomorrow's game. Considering the hostilities of 40 years ago, to witness the Japanese enthusiasm for our game and the reception that has been offered at all levels of society is enormously encouraging for the sport and human relations. From Tokyo, Japan, Rob Astbury, National 9 News.
When Tommy Hafey and the Sydney Swans parted company, the dramatic news was preempted 7 days in advance by Rob Astbury.
Meanwhile, Tommy Hafey's coaching career is under a cloud again. Tomorrow, VFL Executive Commissioner Alan Swab will meet the Swans board, who will present a proposal to purchase the club. 8 board members have enticed the support of several large Sydney-based companies who are prepared to buy the Swans with payment over 7 years. But Tommy Hafey is not part of their plans, and his contract, currently worth about $200,000 a year, would be paid out.
1 week later, Rob's prediction proved accurate.
This is National 9 News with Brian Naylor.
Another VFL club sacks its coach in a bitter end to the season. Jeff Kennett keeps the election bubbling with another slanging match, and the young RAAF pilot, whose cool head averted tragedy. Good evening, and Tommy Hafey has flown back home a shattered man after being sacked as coach of the Sydney Swans. It's the end of another controversial chapter in the career of Aussie Rules' most travelled coach. Rob Astbury, who last week broke the news of the likely Hafey sacking, filed this report.
Besides the famous trademarks of his T-shirt and poker face, Tommy Hafey was also a dejected man when he flew into Melbourne Airport this afternoon. Hafey's future has been under a cloud since last Thursday when we revealed the board was on the verge of selling the club, but Hafey was not part of the new owner's plans. Hafey's remarkable career spans 23 seasons and includes 4 premierships at Richmond before being sacked after 10 years. He moved to Collingwood in 1977 and took the Magpies from last spot to the grand final, but was sacked in 1982. He then spent 3 seasons at Geelong, but just missed a finals berth. In 1986, after being sacked by Geelong, he signed a lucrative 5-year contract to coach the Swans, where he twice made the finals. Hafey's wife Maureen confirmed Tommy's sacking on radio this morning, but when her husband arrived in Melbourne, he was tight-lipped, as are the Swans officials.
It was reported that certain Sydney players backed up against you. Can you confirm that, Tom? Have you had any discussions with any of the players, Tom?
It may only be a coincidence, but the #1 contender for Hafey's job, Ron Barassi, has been in Sydney all week on business. Rob Astbury, National 9 News.
That completes this submission on behalf of Rob Astbury, sports journalist with the 9 television network.
This has been a National 9 News presentation.